Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Pugs Company, the Pillow Talk edition, heard each and every night, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, till about 11 o'clock. And then we also do another version of the live stream. I got a little piece of a little something right here on my keyboard. Ugh. I have no idea what that is. We also do another show, which we call the High Noon Edition. That comes on at noon each and every day. That's more topic driven. That's a current events kind of a deal. Anything that folks are talking about during the day, middle of the day. You got to have stuff to talk about with those people you work with. You probably don't like them. You like some of them, but some of them. Ugh. So you got to have filler conversation. That's what we do at noon every day. We have a high noon broadcast where we discuss each and everything that's happening in the world. This is Pillow Talk. This is a little bit lighter, a little bit more. Ooh, just had a problem here. Sorry. This one's a little bit faster, a little bit lighter, a little bit more. Anything can happen. And to that end, let's welcome into the show, live from Nolens, Louisiana, he is James Conrad Parker. Hi, James. How are you?
I am well. Good to be here.
You are well. You know who is not well?
Who's that?
Sunglasses. Sunglasses is sick as a dog. Sunglasses, he showed up for the noon show today, and he just looked like, as the kids might say, a bag of dick. He just did not look great.
Is that what the kids would say?
Well, I don't spend a whole lot of time around kids, but sounds like something my kid might say.
Agreed.
He looked terrible.
It just sounded funny with you saying it just casually.
Okay. Well, he looked terrible. So I cut him loose around 15 minutes into the show. And I was sailing solo. I was doing it all by myself.
Okay.
And I'd like to apologize to everybody who had to sit through that because I went back and I listened to it. And although you were very encouraging and a lot of you were very kind in your reviews, James, I spent 15 minutes talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken and how small their chicken is.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it means I was struggling. It means that, I had nobody to talk to. Do you know what I thought? It did actually give me an idea, though.
Okay.
Because there are times, I have the ability here in the one percenter, the guest house high above the one percenter compound where we do this show each and every night and each and every day. I wanted to be able to jump here into the cockpit at a moment's notice and do any kind of, I don't know, like if something breaking, like if there's big breaking news, I want to be able to jump on and go, hey, guess what's happening? I want to like cover it live and like watch
like JFK Jr. came back or whatever.
Exactly. I wanted to be able to do that. But truthfully, thankfully, we should say, there hasn't really been anything for me to cover. Like, okay, so here's the things that I really want to do, those like spur of the moment. Hey, I'm going live in 5 minutes. Check it out. I want to cover car chases on YouTube. Like, do you like the live?
I love that. I just love a good car chase.
You're just
waiting for it to end as bad as possible.
They never do.
They do. Well, sometimes, God willing, every once in a while they pay off.
They almost never do. And I can tell you, I've watched about probably every major American car chase that has occurred over the last 3 years because I have this little thing that goes off on my phone that lets me know when shit's going down. And oftentimes it's just somebody rolling around the LA freeways being chased by chips. And so I've watched them all. And I love them. I will go. The longest I've gone is almost 4 hours watching one of these things. And they almost never end with any kind of satisfaction. And by that, I mean, the dude always just gives up at some point. And you know what else I've determined? You know what I've learned? One, you will never escape a helicopter. Well, once the helicopter is up in the air, you are dead. They will catch you. You know what your only hope is?
Going underground.
know that you can outlast the helicopter because those freaking helicopters have to stop for gas a lot. I mean,
Uh-huh.
one of the things that you always hear, the laments of the reporter in the helicopter who's chasing, we're gonna have to circle back down and stop for some gas, so we're gonna break off coverage. That always happens. They're always the helicopter guys are always worried
Interesting.
that the
Because I've put some thought into this watching car chases over the years, and I always thought the way to beat the helicopter would be to go to underground. If you can go into a tunnel system, or if you can go into even a manhole or like a sewer, if you can get underground, boom, they lose you. So
that's a very that would definitely work, certainly. But the
so
problem with
downtown Dallas is ideal for that because if you're on the west side of downtown Dallas, they have those tunnels that are between the buildings. So if you can make it into one of those buildings and you get in the tunnels under it, you can pop up at any other building and just be gone.
but these car chases rarely occur in downtown areas. Let's be honest. They're
No,
always on the
there,
highway.
there's comparable things like like storm drains. You know, like
What are you talking
gigantic
about?
boulders, or like the big drainage system, like when they're driving around in Terminator 2. You know, get down in those things and get in one of those big storm drains or a culvert, but you got to get some sort of canopy over you.
You're adorable. You're like talking to my 12-year-old about this stuff. You ain't gonna be able to know. If you're on the highway, you are dead to rights. Your only hope is that you have more gas in your tank than the helicopter has in its. Because the helicopter, if you can outlast the helicopter, helicopters can only stay up there for like an hour. Seriously, I'm not
Mhm.
kidding. They always like they always got to land and they always got to get up. Now, the other night, last week, as a matter of fact, it might have been exactly a week ago. The minute we signed off at like 11 o'clock. I got the bloop. I got the little thing on my phone, and I'm like,
You got
car
some-
chase! It was awesome. It was in LA. And by the way, some of you guys you might know because I posted about it on Facebook. The minute it happened, I was like, I gotta go back on the air. We gotta do this car chase. But I just done 2 hours, and I was like, I don't want to do
All
that.
right.
You know what I mean? I just want to lay here and watch it unfold on my TV. So I watched that car chase in LA. A guy stole a food supply semi. Like with Cisco Systems, where it's all like napkins and paper cups and coffee
All
filters,
right.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Restaurant supplies. Somebody stole in LA a restaurant supply truck, an 18-wheeler. And he was just motoring down the highways of LA for like 2 hours. I'm watching this thing for 2 hours unfold. And by the way, fun fact, folks, all you need to do when one of these things start to happen is find the city where it's happening and then just go online and Google search the news stations in that city, whether it's their ABC affiliate, NBC affiliate, or CBS affiliate. They will always go live. They will always cover it live. If they've got a helicopter in the air, that helicopter is streaming the chase live. So you can always find it. Now, get this. This particular situation, by the way, any of you in the chat room, you want to look this up for me because there's going to be a question at the end of my little rant here. Excuse me. After like 2.5 hours of this chase, yes, stole. Yes, Emily, they stole it. They stole it in a truck, south side of Chicago. It comes out. After like 2 hours of this chase, this semi truck headed into the hills of LA, like the mountains area, like the hills. And it was a night where there was low cloud cover. So the hills were completely covered in clouds. And the last thing we saw was this semi truck head into the hills, vanish under the clouds, and the helicopter went, well, FAA regulations state that we have to call off the pursuit and land because we're not allowed to fly into the cloud cover. This is exactly the kind of situation that took down Kobe's helicopter. And it was over. That was it. It was over. And I went to bed and I'm like, well, there was no ending to that. What happened with that guy? So if any of you want to look this up while I'm on the air and post it in the chat room, what happened in LA last week with the car chase of the guy who stole the 18-wheeler full of restaurant supplies? Because I don't know. So there you go. That was sort of like what you were saying. If you can go into a tunnel system or something, this guy went into a God-made tunnel system.
Where was this at?
Los Angeles, dude.
Yeah, like in north side, right?
Oh no, 2 hours, dude, all over. They went through like
Now, that's just
Holy
weird
Hill.
because I was in LA last week and I got a good deal on some ribs, and I was wondering.
No, maybe bibs, because that's what they were trying to. Oh, and you know what else? You know what else I learned about uh, uh, car chases? Spike strips
Love those. Okay.
rarely work. Rarely work. This semi, this
Well,
dude,
the
this
scissor ones are very questionable, and then they have the ones that they roll out. I'm looking for the technology that's a little more reliable than both of those, but they work sometimes.
they didn't work on it. They deployed 6 spike strips at 6 different times, and this truck just ate them up every time. Drove right over them. And I'll give you this, for the last 45 minutes of the chase, there were no tires on these wheels. This dude was riding on 18 rims, and sparks are coming up. Oh, and it was nighttime, and it was dark, so the sparks were just beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was, what did it say? The chase eventually came to a stop at around 3 a.m. on the southbound 55 freeway south of MacArthur Boulevard, where the standoff. And so, oh, there was a standoff. I feel like I want to watch a little. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up on. You want to see a little bit of it? We can pull it up on YouTube.
All right.
You know you want to see this because I want to see this. Let's see.
Well, how does it end? Does it end fantastically, or is 2 hours? What are we watching here?
I don't know how it ended. I have no idea how it ended, but I'm just getting reports in the chat room of how it
off
ended.
into the fog on 18 rims and a big ass trailer behind him, and that's the last we heard.
Oh, yeah.
How do you lose a tireless 18-wheeler? But they found it by now. You can follow the ruts in the asphalt to wherever he went.
Okay. Here we go. God, YouTube is awesome.
Wine brings people together.
Isn't it the best?
It's got everything.
Wine to you.
All right.
The world's largest wine store has the perfect bottle for
This is what I was watching.
Your future memories await.
All right, here we go. All right, now watch this. All right, there he is. Okay. We get some.
Is this when he still has tires?
I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like he's still got some tires. See, IFS Food Systems. Oh, can we get some? Is there any coverage? Come on, I want to see the news coverage. I watched this for 2 hours, and I look up here. I like they give you the speed, and then
right. We're tracking his stats like a damn baseball card.
At some point, he had no tires, and he couldn't make any turns. Because if he tried to turn, he would just slide in the highways. So he would slow down to like 10 miles an hour just to creep around like a mountain bend. And he was, I don't like this one. We don't have any sound on this.
Pursuit to an end.
Oh,
because
here we go. All right, maybe I know what they're talking about.
In another window, we need to pull up the Hardcastle and McCormick theme song.
Damage to the wheels, but not enough damage to stop this thing. It may have slowed it down, but not to stop this thing. So you're looking, one of those boxes is live, and then the other box, of course, is video from earlier.
The cool shit that happened.
That's what we're looking at right there. And you can see a clear freeway. So the CHP has done a good job at holding traffic back here to give this rig plenty of space to keep everybody safe at this time. Now we're at Balboa Boulevard, so right up ahead, Alex and Christine, will be the interchange of the 101 freeway and the north and southbound sides of the
an Army tanker years ago in San Diego, which was maybe the craziest.
James, that sounds terrible. Kill it. That sounds really bad.
Yay.
You want the Hardcastle McCormick theme? I'll pull up the Hardcastle McCormick theme. I can play it on another one here.
It's worth a copyright flag.
All right.
It just matches so perfect.
Okay. Here we go.
Back it up to where the truck's moving.
Wait, I will. Hold on. I'll get the truck moving.
This is gonna be so stupid. Watch it. It fits.
Yeah, we've seen quite a bit in this pursuit. Going 25 miles an hour. You can see people are congregating on the overpass there. This is through Universal City, as I said, and this pursuit would continue.
I don't get that. You get that motivation?
I know. I would never.
You know what? Let's go cheer on the big rig and wait on for the thing to come at 15 miles an hour. Hey, what are we doing? Celebrate it, or you get an Instagram shot, a selfie?
It's all for the gram. Exactly.
It's all for the gram.
What it is.
Yeah.
Rick, what do you make of this? Kevin Takumi, who flies a lot for us in Skyfox, giving us reports, says there is fog in the direction this truck is going.
That's right.
Yeah, on the other side of the hill.
If you head into the fog
and make your way towards downtown LA, the low clouds and fog have pushed inland. It just depends on what direction the pursuit will continue. But absolutely, if this pursuit makes its way into that deck of stratus, the fog with that marine influence, then the airborne units are going to have to back off for safety, and they're not going to be able to track it from above.
And that's exactly what happened. The truck headed right into the mountains in the fog, and everybody had to bag off. And yeah, I have no idea what happened. Although
Well,
Jeff
this is
told
a
me.
car chase version of DB Cooper, just disappeared, never to be found again. Certainly, there's an update on this one. Certainly, someone found a tireless 18-wheeler.
No, James, Jeff in the chat room, he said it ended around 3 a.m. and there was a 6-hour standoff.
Oh, okay.
I guess the guy got arrested.
That's right. That's right. Spoke too soon.
So I love the car chases. I don't remember how we started talking about my love of the car chases. Oh, yeah, I remember, because that was one of the things that I want to jump in and do live streams of. But after having to do the noon show today by myself, where at some point it just boiled down to me just stream of consciousness for without taking a breath for like an hour and a half.
You get used to it.
I decided that maybe I'll now start doing streams where, like, if like at 4:30 in the afternoon or something, there's something on my mind, I just come on and I just stream. I just start blabbing and see how long I can blab on a single topic and then just quit.
Hey, it's good practice. It really
good
is.
practice.
You will develop it's sort of like being able to freestyle rap. You can develop that skill. If you're not good at it now, go do it for a few hours. You'll be better.
Apparently, I also went on an AIDS rant today. I don't know what that was about. All right. I don't remember.
Hey, that's a fun one.
Fun one. All right. What do you say we do a little moment of joy? That's what we like to do here. This is a quick one, moment of joy. This one makes me happy. You know, one of the things that truly makes me happy in this world is when people with money have bad things happen to them. And this is an example of someone who's obviously a person with a lot of money who had something really bad happen to him. And
Like
that's
Fire
why it's my.
Festival?
What's that?
Like Fire Festival.
No. I mean, like, a rich guy slamming his hand in the door of his Bentley. You know, stuff like that.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. So this one meets that criteria. Here is a rich guy on what appears to be a super yacht, and something bad happens to him. So can you see it, James? Is it up there on the screen?
Can. Yep.
All right. Here we go. Your moment of joy. Yeah. It's already. Oh, jeez. One more time. Beautiful. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow. Good pause frame there.
Great.
Okay. So I think this is contra the whole theme of your moment of joy. This is supposed to be something that's not negative, or we're not laughing at someone's suffering. It's just supposed to be precious and innocent. No.
I define. Based on my mood of the day, I define the moment of joy. And a rich guy on a super yacht in a beautiful location, probably with a smoking hot girlfriend filming this. He does this. This gives me joy. How does this not give you joy? Look at this guy. This guy's a total douchebag.
Well, because I also have a pair down there that I feel my fellow man's pain. It's contra to the theme of the moment of joy. It really is.
Okay, we're just watching over and over again. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, I got it. Oh, right there. Oh, it was right there.
This is when he knew bad things were about to happen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to clear the railing either. He just knows that. So he seems to be trying to stay on deck instead of hurling his body forward to clear the railing. Oh, yeah.
Is this Al My Balls? Is that what we're watching?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He'll be fine. Oh, okay. Sorry. That brings me joy, James. That, my friend, is what I call a moment of joy. Why are you in black and white? Why are you coming to us from the 1950s? You know, I despise rich people, James. And maybe if you had to live in this neighborhood where I live, where you have to deal with these people on a regular basis, you might hate rich people too. All right.
I know. With their beautiful wives and their well-kept lawns. It's just horrible. No crime.
And their shitty attitudes, and they're, just awful people. They're awful people. You're born with money. You are an awful person. You're not going to back me off that statement. All right, let's see here. Monologue bet. Here we go. It's time. Oh, yeah. All right, took a second to queue up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the Guest House Lounge, high above the 1%er compound in beautiful Highland Park, Texas, filled with the most undesirable folks you could ever be unlucky enough to spend time around. He is the global sensation, the man of 1,000 jokes. Here to tickle your funny bone, he is James Caldwell Parker.
Thank you. President Biden's approval rating has dipped to a new low. To give you an idea of how unpopular he is, his new Secret Service code name is CNN.
Hold on. Oh, I'll just give you this.
Don't do that. I
I was not prepared. I'm pulling up some stuff. Go ahead. Don't you yell at me.
In China, LGBTQ something or other groups are complaining about new social media restrictions, and the rules are very strict over there. They don't even allow same-sex poking. Remember poking? You haven't heard a good poking reference. Hey, that was bad. All right. The State Department is warning Americans against traveling to Ethiopia around the holidays. The good news is Somalia is beautiful this time of year. It's much better. I hate the snare. I hate the ricochet. I really.
Yeah, I like it. So we're going to keep it. Go ahead.
Carnival Breeze, you know, one of those big cruise ships. It was going through the Gulf of Mexico and stranded 3 sailors that had been on a boat just floating out there for days. And amazingly, after one day on board the cruise ship, the men gained an average of 11 pounds.
Oh, boy. Okay.
You know, and I don't think your sound effects job is very good either.
I apologize. It's not great today. It's not. Right. We had an incident before the show, and I'm a little bit disjointed, but go ahead.
I know. I'm taking advantage. Thanksgiving's now being condemned as a celebration of white supremacy, but this doesn't apply to me because I like dark meat.
All right. Very good.
According to Page 6, Kanye West is dating Instagram model Venetria. Friends say she's crazy about him, and he's just crazy.
Ooh, that's a Kanye rip. I
don't know why. He did notice the satanic ritual masquerading as a Travis Scott concert, luckily.
Is that what he called it?
Yeah, well, the 808 reaches the lower chakra of the human soul. Really? So that I mean, that's part of it. And then you have the demonic chants and the demonic imagery and, you know, a few other references. What do you think is going to happen, Pugs? Anyway, according to a new study, children's intelligence is affected negatively by illegitimacy and poverty. So please pray for the poor bastards.
I hit that one early, and it was by accident. Oh, this is not going well.
Well,
it's not going well for me today.
And finally,
okay.
I'm going to do it finally here.
All right.
Sarah Jessica Parker's getting backlash for looking so much older in this new Sex and the City reboot. The original show premiered in 1998, back when Sarah Jessica was just a filly.
I like that one. Because, you know.
That was the elbow to the throat. That's what that was.
Well, I'm not a fan of her. I'm not a fan of hers. I have a friend who works for a magazine, and they did a sit-down interview with her about 15 years ago, and she was just a really awful person. So,
that sucks when it's based on someone you know told you a story.
Why?
Because it's more legit.
Oh no, this is legit. Yeah. This person writes celebrity features for freelance, but at the time they were working for New York Magazine, and they wrote did a sit down, and she so they do these things. They set up like a hotel suite, you know, and they invite the person to come to the hotel suite. Sometimes if the person's really cool, they'll be like, come on over to my apartment. You can sit down, we'll sit in my living room, we'll talk, you know, if they're like really low maintenance. But if they're a high maintenance person, then it's like, I don't want you knowing where I live or seeing the inside, you know, whatever. It's like that whole deal. So they set up a hotel room. They set up a hotel room for her, and she didn't approve of the hotel for some ridiculous reason. So at the last minute, they had to book a second hotel room for her. And then she was just really kind of C-wordy, you know, just like, but then And
you
then
don't think like maybe you're catching people on a bad day, or maybe
maybe.
they. Yeah, and sometimes they don't want to go to a hotel that costs less than $400 a room because they don't keep riffraff away from the celebrities like the ones that are $1,000 a room.
I always leave open I'm objective. People can have bad days, and you can catch people on a bad day, and that's fine. But the hotel thing, that's not a bad day move. That's a move of someone who's just a troublemaker,
I
who
hear you.
just wants
I
to
hear you.
cause problems. And I don't know whether she realizes it or not, but what she did was she screwed over some $18,000 a year intern who had to drop everything she was doing and immediately back at the office try and find another hotel that would be suitable to Miss Jessica Parker's likes. I mean, it's like, come on.
Okay. Yeah. Can't
You're
defend
just
that.
a C word. You're just stop it. What you have a problem? And the issue that she had with the hotel was, oh my God, you're gonna love this. Apparently, the hotel's parent group was involved in some things that she found to be against her insanely far left worldview. And so she refused to set foot in any of these hotel properties. And it was just a whole thing. I don't remember the details exactly, but I just remember getting drunk with this guy. And he
Oh, was it like a Trump hotel or something?
No, and this would have been before the whole, this is probably back when she would have been fine with Trump because he was just a silly New York guy,
But something to that effect, so if she was boycotting the parent company. Okay.
I was like, well, no, they have hotels in Africa and they don't pay their staff a living. Something like that. Something ridiculous like that. Yeah. All right. So, James, how are you today? What's happening here? We got to an hour and a half left. There's a sickness going around the 1%er compound. I woke up with a throat thing where my voice was gone. I mean, I feel fine, but he ain't doing good.
No, come on now. If anything's going around the 1%er compound, it's alcoholic hepatitis.
That's honestly what I thought. My man has been burning the candle at both ends for about 2 weeks now.
Right? Stones, toadies. Yeah.
Never home. He ain't never home. That truck ain't never. I mean, the truck shows up in the morning to do the show, and then he's out gallivanting. He's out doing whatever it is that he does. Hey, he works very hard. He does a lot of good works. He's a very good person, and he enjoys his free time. But he has been burning the candle at both ends, beginning with the Rolling Stones concert last week.
No, beginning with Churchill Downs.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He just flies off to the body needs rest.
Gotta go to all these football games, man, and a lot of it's for a good cause. His kids playing football, your kids playing football.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it works his ass off. He's been burning it at both ends. There's no doubt to me that his body is going, hey, hold on, man.
Hey,
you're not 18 anymore. Go ahead.
I was messing with my video editor earlier today, and I found something that cracked me up, and I wanted to get some artistic ideas from you and maybe commenters here on other ideas, because I think this is a comedic gold mine that I've stumbled on. I just need to come up with more scenes and then edit them down, and then we can play with them on future shows.
Okay.
So I was thinking of doing this, like where you just hang on, let me do it like that, and then like this, and then I can put myself on a TV.
Hey, look at you, the 1950s.
Right. So I was trying this today. I was filling in on USA Radio Network, and I just threw that up there to see if anyone would notice. And I got a lot of positive comments on it. And so after I did that show today, I came up with a couple more scenes, and I can whip these up pretty fast. So I'm just looking for ideas, but some other funny things that you can do just while you're sitting here doing a talk show to give it a little more of a framing, like I'm Big Brother.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Brother. I'm going to throw the hammer at the screen like in that Apple commercial.
Yes, I'm Goldstein. See, I'm Goldstein from 1984. So they're all doing the 2 minutes hate at me. See, they're doing this thing. They're doing the 2 minutes hate. This is great. I'm Goldstein. Everybody hates me. This is where I wanted to be in life. And then I don't know if is that like a copyright violation? Because if it is, I was thinking maybe I could replace the Ingsoc logos with the little James Show logos that keep popping up everywhere.
You can do that. That'd be nice.
And then I was thinking about something like being
good one. Star Trek Enterprise. I like it. Look at you.
Yeah. So that was just something I was goofing around with this afternoon. I don't know. Y'all are going to think of 10,000 ideas faster than me by myself, because if we put a bunch of brains on this, if y'all can think of other little scenes that I can just kind of force feed myself into, let me know, because I don't know. This cracks me up. I think this is just hilarious. And I don't know. Is it a copyright violation? Are we going to get flagged? Do I have to get permission, or do I have to alter it
I don't know.
so we can
And
use it?
apparently that's only a problem if we're attempting to monetize this show, which we are, but we haven't so far. So
Hey, yeah, we don't have to pay royalties for failures. So we beat the system.
that's right.
So
Hold on, let me address a question in the chat room. Pugs, this comes from Fast Outdoor Food. Pugs, might have missed your show on this. Any thoughts on the 50-year anniversary of the DB Cooper skyjacking? That's a good question. You know, I don't. Now, this is not DB Sweeney, the actor, right? This is the guy who got on the plane, I want to say in the Pacific. What do you know about the DB Cooper deal?
yeah, so
Come on. Let's see your cocktail party now. You're at a cocktail party and you moved over into a little coupling of people and they're discussing DB Cooper. And now, James, it's your time to jump in. What do you got?
So there was a big robbery. He took the money, got on a plane, and then he jumped out of the plane over the Pacific Northwest. And we don't know if he parachuted. We don't know if he even survived the fall, but they never found his body. They may have found some of his money floating around like the Snake River, if I remember correctly.
Sounds good. You know,
But so going back in the day, they didn't have any surveillance cameras. So what we're left with is a pretty crappy police sketch of what he might look like. So it kind of looks like a Ken doll with sunglasses on.
Yeah, right.
They're like,
looks like the Hillside Strangler. They all look the same.
Yeah, it's like, well, he's like average height and average build, and he just kind of looks normal. It's like, fine, don't tell me what he looks like. And so then they come out with this. The cartoon picture that we're given could be about a third of the men in America right now. So it's the funny part is afterwards, just no clues, no body, no clues. They knew kind of where he jumped out, but he's most notable because that's the first time it happened. Really, that's the first real skyjacking, or they call it skyjacking, hijacking, ever. And then once he started it, other people started doing it. There was a big run after he did it of like Cuban dissidents were among the first skyjackers too.
Well, what? No. What's the difference between a hijacking and a skyjacking?
Well, that's what they used to call it. In fact, there's an old clip
There he is.
from
He looks like
All
an
in the
alien.
Family where Archie Bunker referred to it as skyjacking.
Doesn't he look like an alien? He looks like a space alien. The big eyes.
Yeah, he's is he bald? No, but I mean, does he have a full head of hair? I mean, no.
Yeah.
He just looks like the most neutral.
It looks like Ross Perot. Doesn't he kind of look like a young, handsome Ross Perot?
Yeah, that's what Ross Perot's yearbook picture looked like because they didn't have photos back then.
Here he is with glasses, and here's what he probably looks like underneath the glasses. This is all guesswork. Oh, there he is again.
That's what we're left with. That's the one I've solved for years and years and years. Is that glasses one?
DB Cooper is a media epithet used to refer to an unidentified man who hijacked a Boeing 727 aircraft in the United States airspace between Portland and Seattle. On the afternoon of November the 24th, 1971, he extorted $200,000 in ransom. It's the equivalent to $1.2 million in 2020. Wow, inflation is a bitch, man. Think about that. 200 grand.
Should have extorted more.
Wow, 1.2 million. That's a good amount. Can't live forever on that though. Well, you could if you're living in the woods in a cabin.
Listen, what year was this?
1971.
All right, in 1974, we just covered this on another show not too long ago. You know how much a Big Mac was? Guess how much a Big Mac was at McDonald's
in what year?
1974. So about the time he did this. I saw a menu from 1974 and it freaked me out.
85 cents.
65 cents.
Wow.
So now it's right around $5. Could be $4 if you're in the rural nowhere. It's like $8 if you're in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So it's around the $5 arena. So look, if you're going to be extorting money and you're going to expect for this to last you the next 30, 40 years, remember in 40 years or in 30 years, a Big Mac's probably going to be $20. So you need to up your extortion number.
I can tell you that I am so old. Are you ready for this? I am so old that I remember when soda machines, you know, where you get a can of pop from a soda machine.
Quarter?
It's now like, yeah, 25 cents. It was 25 cents when I was little. For most of my life, it was 25 cents. Well, most of my childhood anyway. And you know how much a Hershey bar was?
No.
25 cents.
Oh, okay.
50 cents. You could get a soda and a Hershey bar up at the 7-Eleven.
Well, I just remember the line from Caddyshack where he goes and asks for a Coke and he puts a quarter down. He's like, "That'll be 50 cents." And then he's like, Coke's for a quarter. Nope, price has gone up. Well, I ain't paying no 50 cents for no Coke. And then he takes it back and they kind of get in a scuffle.
They're like $2.50 now for a bottle
$2.
of Coke.
$2. There's the standard at a gas station. If you're in the middle of a big city, it's going to be $2.50 or $3. But yeah, that's the weird part is when you get a Dr. Pepper, just $2. Wow.
It was $2.50. The last time that I bought a soda, and the only time that I've probably bought a soda from a vending machine was when I was staying in a hotel. You know, you go down to like the little ice bucket area where they keep.
And not me. We had a vending machine in the radio station, and I lived off of that.
Yeah, I don't get much vending machine action these days. It's
No.
only when I'm staying in a hotel. All right, so the DB Cooper suspects. We got Kenneth Peter Christensen. We got Jack Coffite. And then someone named Lynn Doyle Cooper.
Am I supposed to know these people?
A woman. No. Barbara Dayton. A woman. Barbara Dayton was a recreational pilot and University of Washington librarian who was born Robert Dayton. Oh, Barbara. Okay, see. Okay, that's interesting. And early 70s trans person. Robert Lepsey, John List. John List gets himself a main article on Wikipedia. He must be an important one. John Emil List was an accountant and World War II and Korean War vet who murdered his wife, 3 teenage children, and 85-year-old mother in Westfield, New Jersey.
What did they do?
I don't know. To answer the question, we didn't mean to get off on a rant here on DB Cooper.
Yeah,
I don't know. Thank you for. I appreciate the suggestion. I'm now intrigued, but I'm not prepared to talk about DB Cooper. I don't even really know. But speaking of murdering your wife, let me show you something else that I saw today. I want to get your take on this nonsense. This absolute garbage. Watch this video that I saw. Oh my God. This is, I don't believe anyone should murder their wife. However, what do you see what this person did? All right, so this is a TikTok video. Let me show you this. Let me show you this nonsense. This is,
all
James,
right.
I want to know what you would do if your wife pulled this joke. Okay, so you want like a ribeye steak, right? That's what you want. Hey, honey, make me a ribeye steak for dinner, okay? That's what you say.
She's over in the chat comments, so I think she's watching.
Monique? All right, watch this. Hey, honey, I want a ribeye steak for dinner. Okay, and she does this to you. Watch.
Did I just turn beans into ribeye steak? My husband really wanted a delicious ribeye steak for dinner. He even wanted to go to a restaurant today, and I told him I got it.
Those are beans.
Why spend money in a restaurant when I can make the ribeye steak myself?
Because you can't.
I'm sorry, I'm offended. Restaurant for what? This vegan ribeye steak better turn out good because I refuse to go to a restaurant during a pandemic. If he insists on going to a restaurant, I'm just going to hide his wallet. Or hide his car keys. Oh my God. You can't tell me this doesn't look like a real ribeye steak. Oh Lord, my husband just got home. Let's see how this goes.
An hour later, police were called to the home. Let's see how this goes. Are you kidding me? You can't tell me this doesn't look like a ribeye steak.
No, I can.
That's not the point. The point is not that it looks like a ribeye steak. I can take Play-Doh and make something that looks like a ribeye steak. You insufferable bitch. I wanted ribeye. I was going to take you to a restaurant and you're feeding me beans? Those were beans. It's like the trick isn't to make it look just like a ribeye steak. The trick is to make it taste like a ribeye steak. Floor is yours, James.
I think this might be a brilliant piece of counter programming from the pro meat crowd because that video was so bad. If you were trying to piss somebody off, This is what you would do. And they did it in the little robot voice, the female robot voice that was all odd. So she didn't say vegan, she said vegan, and it was all robotic. And you are going to like this. And this looks just like real meat, doesn't it? And everything is perfect and everything is great.
The point isn't that it looks like real meat. I can draw a picture that looks like real meat. You can't, that's not the point. Oh, I would be so angry. My husband was really craving ribeye steak, and I told him I got it. No, you don't.
No. Here's something that I would like to point out too. She kept referring to her husband. I didn't see any husband around there.
No, and there was no end to it either. It just ended with her like putting it on the plate. I wanted to see the TikTok where the husband comes home and
There's
throws
no
it in his
husband.
face.
That lady is single, okay?
She doesn't
She
have a
might have some
husband.
sort of Brian Laundrie psycho that's about 5 days away from strangling her, but she does not have a real man or true love.
No,
in her house.
anyone who thinks like that can't keep a man. There is no way that she got someone to marry her. No way. He wanted a ribeye steak. He even offered to go out to a restaurant, and she makes that. She makes a bean loaf and just makes it. And first of all, can we be honest? That looks like the worst fucking ribeye steak I've ever seen in my life. That didn't look like a ribeye steak. Doesn't it look just like a ribeye? Where are you getting ribeye steak from? That looks like some kind of bean loaf, which is exactly what it is.
Junior high meatloaf was great, and I think it was only like 50% beef and like 50% circus animal filler or something.
Yeah, like breadcrumbs or something. They always get heavy into the breadcrumbs and cornmeal with those things. They do.
And then why does she have to insert her little commentary in there? It's like, there's no way I'm going to a restaurant during a pandemic. With your little robot voice. It's like, why are you even adding that in there?
I get that. I haven't been to a restaurant in a long time either. I don't really want to go out to all these places and sit.
Yeah, that's not an excuse to eat beans.
No, it's not an excuse to eat beans, especially when every restaurant now offers carry out. When you have Grubhub and you've got DoorDash.
All right, robot psycho. That would be a valid excuse if they didn't sell meat at the grocery store, but they do. So you don't have to go to a restaurant to eat meat. That's not like a cutoff point.
It's not the only place you can get your ribeye steak. You can get it anywhere in this day and age. You can get it delivered right to your door from your favorite restaurant. They do that now. They package it up for you and they bring it right to your house.
I like my food to have a face.
I do too. I think we talked about this before. I can't be a vegan. I would never be a vegan. I think vegans are weird. I think vegans are denying themselves one of the pure joys of humanity, and that is eating something. Eating something that has a soul.
Living thing, yeah.
Yeah, something that has a soul.
You died so I can live. That makes me better.
Hakuna Matata, as the kids say. Hakuna Matata.
Thing in the world. That's how we all got here.
Yeah, it is. It's been doing it. We've been doing it for millennia. What do you got there, James?
Can I do the next story?
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes I feel bad for these dudes. There's a guy that's in New Jersey, and he's a divorce lawyer. And I figured this would happen like every 3 months, but he got in trouble. He got censured by the Supreme Court's Disciplinary Review Board because he was helping this lady through her divorce. They made a settlement. He waited the obligatory 3 months, that are in the letter of the policy that the ethics committee is enforcing here. And then he asked if he could go down on her.
What?
Yeah.
What? Hold on. Time out. Leslie, I don't sound like the garbage man from New York City. I sound like somebody who was lied to about the steak that they were promised for dinner. That's what I sound like. I'll make a goddamn ribeye by myself. I don't need a woman to make a ribeye for me, but she offered to make me the ribeye. I said what I wanted. I offered to go to a restaurant. How do I sound like the asshole garbage man from the video I played in High Noon? Sorry, James. Back to the guy that offered to go down on the woman.
So apparently she got upset because there's supposed to be some sort of lawyer-client privilege, but also like he's supposed to never hit on you again for the rest of your life or something. So she was upset because
how do you enforce that?
Yeah, first off, it's unenforceable, and I'm sure there's many cases of people who met their spouse because either the lawyer was the client or the client was the lawyer, and it worked out just fine, and they got married and live happily ever after. I mean, you meet people in the course of business. Sometimes you're going to fall in love with them legitimately so. But this happened, and this is part of my complaint because the guy is unattractive. If he had been attractive, there
Oh,
would be no complaint. He would still have no marks on his record. He would not have been censured by the disciplinary review board because there would have been no complaint filed. This guy got in trouble for being ugly.
As an ugly man myself, I do get what you're saying. I do completely understand what you're saying. This is not you're not the first to bring this up. I mean, you've come to this conclusion. A lot of us ugly men have come to this conclusion before. That well, first of all, can we just acknowledge that it's a he shot his he shoot hit it his shot at it. He went for it. Um, he was not particularly charming in the way that he did it. He was not particularly interesting. He was very he was like a caveman. He was like a gross creeper, and that doesn't get you points. I'd like to imagine that a Brad Pitt or George Clooney looking dude would have done it with a little bit more panache,
with a game, a little bit more game,
a little
right?
bit more game. So the lack of game is probably also factoring into what happened to him. But yes, I agree with you. I agree that when women are flirted with by ugly men, it's a completely different situation than when women are flirted with by extremely attractive men. Saturday Night Live had a very famous sketch starring Tom Brady where it was a workplace harassment video parody. And there were two people in the. Have you ever seen this?
I did. It was great.
There were two people in the office.
True.
One was Tom Brady. The other was Fred Armisen. And Fred Armisen would walk up to Tina Fey and say something really innocent and really sweet, like, "Hey, I was wondering if you would like to have a drink with me." And she would completely freak out and claim to be sexually harassed. And then in the next clip, Tom Brady would walk up to her and say something really vulgar and crude, and she would be flattered and totally. Oh, that's true. I think, yeah. I also believe that when handsome men, when they get in trouble for having too much of the sex, running around and taking advantage of the fact that they can pretty much get all the sex they want because they're handsome men, they're also the only ones who are allowed to claim that they're sex addicts. Like when an ugly person does that, then they have some sort of they're a degenerate. They've got some kind of a sex issue and they need to be put behind bars for it. But when it's Derek Jeter, or I'm sorry, yeah, when it's someone like that,
Dave Duchovny.
Yes, when it's David Duchovny, it's sort of charming. All the women that he's cheated on with, right? It's like, oh,
no, poor fella. Oh, it must be just suffering from all that sex, man. That's.
Look, we humans, there are very real problems in the world, and there are very real issues with creepers and men doing gross things and, all that. Nobody is disavowing any of that, but humans are complicated, as I always like to say. And ugly men, ugly men will always be considered a harasser before a handsome man will. That's just the facts. That's just how it is.
Is it wrong to feel a little bit sorry for this guy?
No, because of the way he went about it. He's a douche tool. He's like a total fool. All right, read it again. Read exactly what it is that he said. What is the word combination that he strung together that got him in trouble?
Morristown attorney Kevin. I'll just leave the rest of it out, but Kevin kind of says a little bit. He sent an email to the client 2 days after her divorce was finalized, using extremely graphic language and an offer to perform oral sex on her. The Supreme Court's disciplinary review board said.
Okay. So he put this on paper? Was that in an email? Is that what you said?
Yeah. It was in an email.
So was it okay?
Really
well,
stupid.
Right there, that's ridiculous.
Sloppy, but
why would you put that?
It doesn't make it right or wrong, but it's sloppy.
It makes it more cumbersome. It makes it even more weird and thoughtless. If you're going to shoot a shot like that, you do it over drinks when, both people are a little loosey-goosey, and then you make your sexual advance. You don't do it in an email. Not when, an email is forever, and certainly not when you're ugly. Now, if he was handsome, she'd probably show that email to people. Look at what my hot attorney,
Right.
Look, I know this is some provocative stuff that's coming out of my mouth, but it's true. as an ugly man, I feel that I can say these things because I know better. This is why I'm not a flirt. This is why I used to be. I used to be a real charming flirt because, when I had a radio show, I was able to get over the fact that I was an ugly man because that brought in something extra and people would put up with my nonsense. But not anymore. Now I have to be celibate for the rest of my life because I can't even talk to a girl now. No, that's actually not true. I'm actually pretty good with women. I mean, talking, flirting.
So check out this defense, though. Here's his defense. He says,
"Hold on, what does fishing mean? I don't know what this means. Pugs, are you fishing?
Yeah, fishing for compliments.
Oh,
no, you're not ugly. Stop being so hard on yourself.
No.
You're still cute. You're not that ugly.
I'm pretty sure. At my age, I know exactly what I am.
We're
I
all ugly
appreciate
at
you,
this
Leslie.
age. No one thinks we're hot at this age. It's not even a possibility. I'm 44.
Yeah, well,
No,
Leslie's
that ship has sailed. Okay,
Leslie's like
no one wants me hitting on them ever. So I'm done.
Leslie's like a 6-foot blonde. She's probably been beautiful her whole life. So, it's like she's just this
Right.
gross.
You have no idea the world we live in. None.
Right. Yeah.
None.
hmm
All right. The defense, though, this guy's defense. He says the client had flirted with him and overtly signaled her sexual interest toward him during the representation on more than one occasion.
Say that again.
Damn it, I just flipped the page.
I was reading the chat room. It was Emily Pugs. I never put up with your shit. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, you're fishing for compliments. Leslie confirmed it. All right. He also claimed the client had flirted with him and overtly signaled her sexual interest toward him during the representation on many occasions.
All right, so he's going with the "she wanted it, Your Honor." He's going with that.
He was asking for it, kind of. Yeah.
Ooh, that doesn't play well in this day
Well,
and
what
age.
if he did hit on him and then she changed her mind? Or maybe if she was just saying some stuff that he misinterpreted innocently, with the best of intentions.
James, women hold all the cards nowadays.
All of them.
They got all of them. We just got to go with it. And look, not for nothing, but you and I are, older, not old, but we are older white men. We
Everybody hates us. Yeah.
We get no benefit of the doubt for any of this stuff. There is nothing we can do.
This is what I like about of all the things they're taking from us right now. Men are just losing it bit by bit. That's the one thing I like about the Olympics is we're taking a little something back. It's called women's sports. So y'all can have this. Y'all can have your little lawsuits and you can get papers and you can get censured by the disciplinary review board. But y'all ain't never getting another weightlifting medal ever. It ended this year. This is the last year a woman's ever going to get on the stand for any of these little power events, and I'm going to enjoy all of it.
I would just like to say that although I stand by everything that I've said to this point, I would now like to distance myself from James because this has drifted into an area of woman bashing that I, as a young man raised by a single supermom, do not cotton to. James, back to you.
It's no women bashing. I'm just saying the Olympics in 2024 are going to be the best we've ever seen.
Because there's no women's sports?
Well, it's going to be reduced.
What'd they get rid of?
They didn't. It's not what they're getting rid of. It's that men are going to be competing in the existing events and taking all the medals. Or a bunch of them.
Oh, speaking of women's sports.
What I'm talking about.
I got you. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. It's been a long day. There's this big debate going on in Chicago because at Midway Airport, the garage levels at Midway Airport are all assigned to a Chicago sports team. Like you've got the Cubs level, the Sox level, the Bulls level, the
Blackhawks level,
Chicago
Fire or the FC Chicago, whatever they call it.
FC Chicago level. And then there's a sixth one, and it's the Chicago Wolves, which is a minor league hockey team.
Okay.
Chicago Wolves, they're like the level just below the NHL, and they're really good. Like they win championships all the time. So strangely enough, the Chicago Wolves are actually kind of popular in Chicago. People really kind of like them, and they go to their games and all that stuff. And there's a big argument going on the last couple of days that they want the Chicago Wolves pulled off of there and replaced by the WNBA champion Chicago Sky because they don't have one. And I'm telling you, you read these threads, it's hysterical. People are so mean.
That's so fun.
And I look, hey, I actually believe that they should let the Sky have they brought a championship. They did a big championship parade. James, hundreds of thousands of I know, I was shocked myself. The streets were jam-packed with revelers celebrating the WNBA champions. And then they did their thing in Grant Park the way all the other Chicago championship teams do. Now, granted, like the Cubs had 1 million people when they won the World Series, and the Bulls always had like 1 million plus people, and the Blackhawks had 1 million people. And yeah, there was only like 200,000 for this, but it was still quite big. The Chicago Wolves never got that. They were never so arrogant that after one of the Chicago Wolves championships, they went, let's have a parade on a work. I mean, they knew nobody was going to show up for the
Right.
but they did show up for the Sky. So, but it is really funny. It's a funny debate. It really brings out the hatred for men versus women. All right.
I love it. I'm ready for the exhibition games. You know how we have like one of the Logan Pauls or Aaron Pauls fighting some rando NBA, whatever. We should have the Wolves play the WNBA championship team, but have them play them at basketball because I bet the Wolves would beat them.
No, they get their asses kicked.
Oh my God! You have no idea. They would get destroyed. The women would get absolutely just pummeled.
No, they would
get their stuff rejected into the 8th row.
They'd get crushed. The Wolves hockey players were a bunch of like backwoods Canadian dudes who've never held a basketball before. Seriously, dude, the Chicago Sky girls, like Candace Parker for one, they would just be sitting there draining threes left. They drain threes like Larry Bird. It's not a dunking league. It is a shooter's league, and these girls can shoot, man.
Line them up. Well, then if you're so confident, let's have the exhibition game.
You need to be more respectful, because I felt the same way, and then I watched a highlight video because I had never watched it, right? But then all of a sudden, they won, and everybody's like, they were good, man. They were good. Now, they're not going to crash the boards. There's not a whole lot of paint action going on, but boy, oh boy, is there a lot of threes. There's a lot of threes and a lot of mid-range stuff, and it was very good. All right, James, what do you got? You got something else?
The other link I sent you, did you see this Craigslist ad?
Okay, let me pull this.
So Craigslist used to be amazing for the casual encounters for the people that were looking for hookups, and they had to take that down because so many trannies and stuff were getting killed. It got a little wild, but they still have missed connections. Are you familiar?
No, wait a second. Now, what was was Craigslist the one that had all of the prostitute? Didn't Craigslist have? Back
page. That was the back page.
That doesn't exist anymore, right?
No,
back page doesn't exist anymore.
No, unfortunate.
And that was the one that had like child sex or something weird, right? Sex trafficking.
Well, it's not that they featured it on there, or it was something people were going to Backpage for, but people that had put ads on Backpage, yes, lied about their age in order to make money.
Okay, but James, some people were going there for that. I mean, if they're putting the ads up, some people are going there for that. Stop making excuses for.
Well, no, Backpage they didn't have an option to let you post a 17-year-old.
Okay, all right. So it's back. So does Craigslist still have that stuff?
No, so many people had so many problems that they took down the casual encounters.
Well, where does the escort hobbyist turn these days?
That's not what casual encounters for. The casual encounters for the people wanting to do it for free, just the freaks.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
There's a lot of swinger stuff going on out there, and there's a lot of hookup. Anyway,
I think there is a little bit of peace of mind in knowing that I am paying for something and I expect a certain amount of quality. If it's for free, I don't know what I'm getting there. That's a crapshoot, and I don't want sex that badly. Next, you're going to tell me that the pictures featured in the ads aren't exactly the woman that's going to answer the door?
Yikes. Okay, so they still have the missed connections. And are you familiar with the missed connections at all?
Yes, I do know what misconnections are. There's a radio show that I used to listen to that used to do these things. Now, aren't these like people, if you were at so-and-so bar on Friday night wearing the red top with the Boston Bruins hat, I was the guy staring at you at the end of the bar, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah. Or we sat next to each other at the John Mayer concert and talked for 2 hours, and I didn't even get your name.
So dudes that don't have enough game to get a phone number. So that's what this is for. Desperate, sad, lonely guys who don't have the balls to ask a girl for a phone number.
But there are some girl ones that are in there every once in a while. It's dominated by guys, but it's kind of adorable because girls are like, we were volunteering at the homeless shelter, and You gave me the extra blankets. They always seem so noble with these. But
Hey,
this
if
one
you was the hot bitch with the big tits at the Creed show on Friday night at the Aragon, I was the guy in line in front of you. I'm the guy to let you into the men's room to piss in front of all the other guys. That kind of
the
thing.
one without the sleeves at the Creed concert. Yeah. So this one got passed around in viral form because this is such a, how like the divorce lawyer was just the guy shooting a shot. Hey, this.
Okay, it's more than that, but okay, that's your representation of it.
No, that's a Hamilton quote.
Okay.
Not going to shoot my shot from Hamilton. Have you not seen Hamilton?
I don't give a shit about Hamilton now.
Yeah. The uncultured backwoods hillbilly.
Basically.
Yeah. So this was
trash.
This is from the Cincinnati Misconnections Community Board on Craigslist. The headline for this misconnection is "Lady I Met at Probation."
Okay.
The description under it says, "You really stole my heart that day we talked. You were absolutely amazing. Wish I had gotten your number." And that's it.
Probation for what? Rape? I mean, what was he on probation for?
You don't get probation for rape. You go to jail for rape. No.
At some point they let you out, right?
It's probably some kid who had a bag of weed or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? If he met someone at probation, he's not talking to his probation officer because he would know her name. So he's talking to another offender, another criminal at probation. And so now it kind of becomes less funny. And the fact that, if you are this person who's not like a felon that's going to prison or jail, and you're not on parole, the after effects that trail it, you're on probation. So you're like a low level, just kind of mischievous criminal, like bag of weed type criminal, or maybe you shoplifted some mascara from Sephora because that crap's $80 a bottle, right?
Driver.
And that's how she got it. Yeah, drunk driving, something like
multiple drunk driving. So no, you got to check in every once in a while.
So why not? Why? Maybe these kids can work it out. Maybe they have something in common. Maybe they have a common stream of interest. But if you're in like a tense situation, like the probation office, and you're on the wrong end of the desk, and you find a like-minded individual just while you're in the waiting room, and you can have a long talk where you walk away, and you're not walking away. My life is destroyed. I can't believe how much these fines are. I can't even work at a bank ever again. Or no, you're walking away thinking about how amazing that conversation was with the girl that you just had in the lobby. And it kind of has that Charlie Sheen, Jennifer Grey feel from Ferris Bueller. Yeah. Was it one of those? Shauna, when he's walking off.
What'd you do? Drugs? No, my brother. What do you do? Drugs? Yeah.
What'd you do? Drugs.
That's a good reference. The Charlie Sheen cameo in Ferris Bueller. Look, I begrudge nobody their love. Two couple, I love it. Two couples, they find each other. They're happy together. God bless them. If these two crazy kids can make it work in this messed up world, who am I to stand here on my pedestal and cast judgments? Now, so was this another person who was on probation, or was this the probation?
Yes.
So.
I don't know, but context clues led me to, and I explained if it was someone across the desk, he would be able to know her name. He would already know his parole or probation officer's name, or whatever social worker he's there to meet, or their secretary would be right there. He could at least look it up. But no, this has to be another offender.
What's a greater American love story than Bonnie and Clyde? Who says the two people on the wrong side of the law can't find love?
Yeah, they're pretty evil and not really metaphor for what I'm going for here, but
okay.
they are criminals, and there was sort of love involved.
All right, very good. Hey, James, let me take a turn here. I got something I wanted to bring back from, where is it? Let's see if we can find it here. So on this afternoon show on High Noon, I wanted to do a little thing here. Let me pull it up. James, before we do this, let me, what's the name of the high school that you went to? What's your high school?
Oh, no. Why do we got to air my stuff out like this?
No, we don't. No, just trust me. It's not going to be anything personal against you. Just tell me the name of your high school.
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill High School?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chapel Hill High School. Tyler, is that in?
It's next to it.
Well, what town? What town is it?
There's not a town. I'm from nowhere. There's not a town.
Well, Chapel Hill High School.
I just had to call it something.
All right. Here's why. Let me just.
I'm from nothing. I'm from nowhere.
It says it's in Tyler. Okay. So earlier today, Cecily Strong. Do you like Cecily Strong on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, Cecily Strong. She's amazing. Love her. Yes.
I love her too. She's so good. So she was trending a couple of different subjects that she was trending under today, which means that she got new PR and they wanted to show off and say, look, we can make you trend for something that's absolutely nonsense. It's total nonsense what she was trending for. But one of the things that she was trending for was because she was kicked out of high school her sophomore year for dealing weed. she was a pot dealer.
Have I heard this before? I might have
I
heard
don't
this before. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. She was. Also here. This is fun. We also got into this, but let me get back. We'll get back into the high school thing. How much do you think a first-year cast member on Saturday Night Live makes per year? What would you?
180,000.
126,000. Yeah,
Ooh.
$126,000 a year if you're a first-year cast member. Second-year cast, $7,000 an episode is what they make, but there's only 18 episodes. So that is not enough to live in Midtown, man. That's not enough to live anywhere near walking to your
No, you got to live in like Jamaica, Queens or something.
yeah, you got to live like you got to take trains and the subway and all that stuff. So it's not good.
Or four of y'all could live together.
After 5 years on the show, cast members make $15K per episode. And then big members, the highest paid ever, was making $25K per episode. But honestly, this explains why people only do it for 2 or 3 years and then leave and just go take their shots in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
yeah.
And so, like, think of it like Kenan Thompson. I'm sure Kenan Thompson is up there in the 25K range because he's been there, I think, longer now than anyone has ever been. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not like, you make $7,000 an episode. That sounds great to the working man. That sounds great. But it's only 18 episodes, which means it's only $126,000 a year. And you're a big celebrity. Like, you're a famous person and you're only making $126,000 a year. That sucks. That's good. You got cousins coming out of the woodwork looking for handouts. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
It also explains why during the off season, all of these Saturday Night Live people, especially the no names, will go and do the comedy club tour because you can cash in and make a little extra money. There's other ways to make money. So I thought that was interesting. But Cecily Strong was kicked out of high school because she, where is it? Do I have it? Got kicked out of high school for selling weed her sophomore year. She went to a high school in the Chicago. She's from Chicago. She went to a high school in the Chicago area called Oak Park River Forest High School, which has an alumni section. And I went and looked because I was like, I like to look up high schools and see like who's the most famous person from the high school, because my high school has nobody. My high school has absolutely nobody. We got like some American Idol finalists from like 15 years ago and a couple of WWE wrestlers who weren't even names. They're just like dudes who had like one contract in the WWE, got their ass.
We have a lot of NFL players. We had a guy that made the Pro Bowl.
No, we're gonna look into that. We're gonna see. That's why I asked for the name of your high school.
Oh, you want me to not spoil it for you then?
No, we're gonna find out. Okay. But listen to the alumni from Cecily Strong's high school, the school that kicked her out sophomore year. All right. First and foremost, let's go with some non-celebrities. Ernest Hemingway went to her high school. I mean, there are actually high schools named for this guy. And he went so she got Ernest Hemingway, Hugh Hefner, and Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. Those are like three really big ones.
Wow.
But then there's also like a whole bunch of celebrities. Like I don't have the list in front of me. But she had Homer Simpson. Come on, how great is Dan Castellaneta, right? No, Dan, that's a big one. Go to anyhow. Even if you didn't have Hugh Hefner, Ernest Hemingway, or Ray Kroc, you got Homer Simpson as an alumni of your high school. That's a good one, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Here's another fun fact. Homer Simpson, Dan Castellaneta, was in the same class as Kathy Griffin, and they went to prom together.
Wow.
How weird is that?
What is this place?
Isn't that crazy? What's that?
What is this place?
It's just a regular neighborhood high school. I mean, it's an old high school in Chicago, in Oak Park, which is where, Frank Lloyd Wright lived and did all of his crazy early houses and stuff. Okay, so also Thomas Lennon went to this high school.
I don't know that one.
Reno 911.
Oh, okay.
He's the main cop with the mustache and the tight. What was his name? That dude's hysterical. That guy's really. Anyway, she had a whole bunch. I don't have it pulled up, and I don't want to waste my time. But I did ask people to send me the most famous people that went to their high schools because I got nobody. I got nobody in league with Kathy Griffin, let alone Ernest Hemingway. I mean, that's a showstopper. You know what I got? I got Gina Glockson. That's it. Gina. Yeah, like season 10 of American Idol. She made it to like the top 5. She's like the most famous person that went to my high school. All right, we are looking up your high school and
Officer Dangle.
Yeah, Officer Dingle. Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, James, you do not have an alumni section worth any note. You don't even have any. You don't even have an alumni section.
There was like 180 kids in my graduating class. We had to we graduated our football stadium's next to a cow pasture. You can go look it up on Google Maps. It's a stereotype. It is like Friday Night Lights, but smaller.
Chapel Hill High School is a public high school located in Tyler, Texas, United States, classified as 4A school by the UIL. It is part of the Chapel Hill Independent School District. Chapel Hill Bulldogs, go Bulldogs. Then it just lists the sports that you guys have, state titles. You had a football title in 1989 and in 2011.
Yeah, I was there for the one in 1989. It was at the Astrodome. Like I was in attendance for that one. I was in 7th grade. My sister was a freshman in high school, and she was like a majorette, so she got to march with the band in the middle of the high school the Texas State High School Championship. So it's kind of the pinnacle of my existence.
You did all right in theater. You got some theater skins on the wall. You got a good theater department there. I imagine theater kids are just embraced in Tyler, Texas.
Hey, I was a thespian. I was a member of the International Thespian Society. I did enough theater activities and went to enough theater contests and got enough points that I was inducted. And there's only 2 in Texas. There's only 2 organizations that are allowed to put a seal on your diploma: the National Honor Society and the International Thespian Society. And me and Jeff were the only ones that got both.
Look at you.
Yep.
I almost went with applause. But
okay.
I just figured. What year did you graduate?
95.
Oh, okay. So
no, the theater kids were actually. We're not. When you
you
go to
didn't win any titles in 95. 2000, 2011, 2012.
We were trash when I was in high school. Our football team stunk.
They got better once you left.
Yeah, they did. Well,
anyway,
when you go to a small school, you're not like a jock or a theater kid or a nerd or a basketball player. You're everything. You get to do everything. The same guy that's on the football team, and there's a couple of them in theater, and there's a couple of them that are marching in the band. And like when you're in a small town, you get to be everything. So you don't really get segregated out like that. So no, the theater kids weren't necessarily picked on, and some of us were cool and some of us were dorks. But damn, we all knew each other 10 times over from kindergarten through 12th grade. Like
I noticed how you included yourself in the cool kids in theater. That was
in theater I was one of the cool
humble
kids.
of you.
In theater I was one of the cool kids. I wasn't necessarily one of the cool kids like on the football team or whatever. But
Leslie Gladback says, wasn't Jamie Foxx from Tyler? Yeah, I thought he was from Tyler.
No, he's from Terrell.
What's the difference?
His name's Eric Bishop, and it's about an hour and a half away. They have a Buc-ee's, so they're better than we are. Terrell's real close to Dallas.
I thought that I did. I thought he was in Tyler too. I fell into that. But Tyler and Terrell are the same thing. Here, this was a pretty impressive one. I wanted to pull this one up. Highland Park High School, right here, where we're broadcasting from.
This is going to be incredible. This is going to be amazing, isn't it?
It's not that great. I mean, it's good, but it's not that like. Okay, so I'll give you this. They got see a lot of these people. They're just like 2nd and 3rd generation billionaire wealth. So it's like I can't really give them credit for just inheriting the family oil business, like Lowry Mays. Lowry Mays, who ran Clear Channel, big powerful radio guy. You got some Hicks, but here's something that's interesting as far as art sciences and academics. Jane Mansfield is listed in the. Well, I guess it would be arts. Jane Mansfield. Now, do you know who Jane Mansfield is?
There's 2 reasons I know Jane Mansfield.
Go give me them. She of the giant bra, the bullet bra, the giant Jane Mansfield boobs. All right, so this is interesting. So Jane Mansfield, she's from Highland Park. Didn't know she was a rich kid. Did you? She was sort of like in the 1950s. She was maybe like the Kirkland variety, like the Kirkland brand of food products. She was sort of like the Kirkland Marilyn Monroe. She wasn't Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe is what you get at the Whole Foods, where you pay full price for it, but then you can get yourself a Jane Mansfield's at the Sam's Club or the Costco or whatever. And so she would be the Kirkland variety Marilyn Monroe. She also died by getting decapitated. She was in a car accident and her head got taken off in a convertible when I believe it slid under a truck, and they found her head in the road. Her decapitated body was still in the car, but her head was in the road. And this is kind of the weird thing. Do you know who her daughter is? Her daughter's famous. Her daughter's super famous. Although I can't think of her name right now.
You want me to look up Jane Mansfield's daughter?
No, I've got it here. I've got it handy. I can't think of her daughter. Her daughter's really famous, but it's a weird name. It's like a hard. Let's see here.
Oh, Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order fame, right?
Well, then where'd you get that trash name?
I don't know, dude. Oh, because her dad was Mickey Hargitay. Mickey Hargitay was like the original. Mickey Hargitay was like the original Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was one of these weightlifter guys back in the 1950s.
Geez, this guy was huge. Okay.
Are you seeing pictures of old Mickey Hargitay?
Yeah, and it's funny because bodybuilders from like the 50s, you don't expect them to be huge. You expect them to kind of look like me, but just in better shape. Isn't that funny? You ever look at like what bodybuilders look like in 1941? Like boxers, what they look like. They weren't all like ripped and looking like a G.I. Joe or a He-Man figurine.
Yeah, they weren't. They were kind of dad bods, but like what we would consider today as dad bods.
Yeah. With a lot of iron stuff. I got it.
They didn't isolate the muscle groups the way we learned to do in the 1970s, the way Arnold came over and taught us how to, work each muscle individually. All right, but here's what
every day by drinking bacon grease and having 2 raw eggs.
Smoking a pack of cigarettes.
Right. That's just true.
But listen, here's the interesting thing about Highland Park High School. So it's got Jane Mansfield went there, and Jane Mansfield, of course, gave us Mariska Hargitay, been on Law and Order for 20 years, right?
Okay.
She's been on forever. They gave us 2 other Law and Order hot babes. Angie Harmon, Highland Park High School, who was in Law and Order for like, I don't know, a dozen years before she lives right down the street, by the way. Whenever I go for a jog, I always go, that's Angie Harmon's place. Angie Harmon, and then Stephanie March, Angie Harmon, and the mother of Mariska Hargitay. Oh, went to Highland Park High School.
Wait, who's Stephanie March?
Stephanie March is you pull her up. She's like a beautiful blonde. She played one of the lawyers. Well, I think she took over the role that Angie Harmon left. It's like, what's that about? 2 girls from the same high school, they just replace each other on one of the biggest TV shows. How is that? How did that work out?
Well, Homer Simpson went to prom with Kathy Griffin.
I know. I hate this. Oh, and you want to know something else? Here, listen to these stories. I hate these stories. They always make me so mad because I have none of this. I knew when I was in my 20s that there was absolutely nothing great going to happen to me in my career because I had absolutely no association with anybody famous.
Oh, I know. It's like, I get it. We're losers. I get it. Everyone from Chapel Hill, we're all losers. We're never going to be anything. I got it.
So listen to this story. So Dustin Hoffman is who was the guy? Dennis Hopper. Dustin Hoffman and Dennis Hopper, they have an apartment together when they're both actors, right? They're both just like a couple of loser actors struggling in New York. Dennis Hopper decides that he's going to leave. He's going to LA. He's had it with the New York scene. So Dustin Hoffman needs to get a new roommate. He puts an ad in the newspaper and a dude shows up and knocks on the door. Robert Duvall. What the hell? How does this happen? How is your old roommate, you're famous, you're freaking Dustin Hoffman, but you lose a roommate who is Dennis Hopper, who's about to become very famous, and you replace him with Robert Duvall, who is also about to become very, I don't have that. And this is also like the whole Tommy Lee Jones, his roommate in college was Al Gore. How does that happen? How do these things happen?
Yeah, my roommates in college were kind of losers. I mean, they're like really nice guys, but they're not the vice president of the United States or Senator Dennis Hopper or Robert Duvall.
All right, that's a little high school thing I wanted to do. I wanted to know who people in the chat room's best.
Well, see, if you take the entire town of Tyler everyone's still a loser, and we are like the Eastern Adjunct School District. Like,
Right.
we're just in the country adjacent to Tyler.
So
It-
instead of just doing the high school, let's just see who's the most famous person from Tyler. Can you?
Earl Campbell, and then Sandy Duncan, and then Johnny Horton.
Who's Johnny Horton?
Battle of New Orleans.
Oh, so he's like.
And what was the other one he wrote? Off to Alaska, to go north. The rush is on. I think he is.
Notable people. Okay, let's look at it. Notable people from Tyler, Texas, from James' hometown. John Carpenter. Oh, that's a good one. John Carpenter.
Okay, that is good. That's good.
Scanners, Halloween.
Sure, he's from Tyler.
John, let me click on it. He's the first guy listed. John Carpenter is a film and television actor, director. Oh no, this different John Carpenter. Sorry, I misread it.
Yeah, I would have heard that before.
It's Josh Carpenter. I misread it. I thought it said John. All right, then we got your Sandy Duncan. That's a good one.
Yeah, the Wheat Thins commercial.
Did she lose her eye in Tyler, or did that happen?
She lost an eye.
Oh yeah, you know that? Yeah, she famously, her and Sammy Davis, famously, they only had one eye. Alex Finlayson is a playwright. Kiki Shepard, a television show host, and Arthur Dooley. I don't know who that is. I don't know any of those people. Sandy Duncan, that's your big one.
Well, Earl Campbell is probably more well known, but that's bad, man. That's a bad list.
You got really nothing. Tyler's been around a long time, and not much musicians. Got a whole bunch of musicians, but I never heard of any of them. AC Bilbrew, Richard Dobson, Eddie and Sugar Lou's Hotel. That's a band. Isley. I think I've heard of Isley. That's a band.
No, that used to be Moss Isley in Dallas. They were
they're just a
Dallas band. Yeah, and then they got like a cease and desist and changed their name to Isley, but they hadn't done anything since like 1999 or something like that.
Hey, congratulations, Louis Gomert is from Tyler.
That's he's actually from Mount Pleasant, but whatever. He's the representative.
Let's see here. You got anybody else? You got science, sports. How about sports? You got.
We got a few NFL players, a few NBA players, and
Earl Campbell. Chris Carter, NFL defensive back. Freemason? Is he a Freemason?
How the hell should I know?
Isn't that what you said? I thought you just said Freemason when I said Chris Carter. Larry Johnson, Grandmama's from Tyler?
Yes.
Look at that.
So a handful of athletes.
Yeah.
Great.
And not even a whole bunch of really great ones. That's all right. That's all right. Let me do mine.
All we got.
Well,
here's the good news. If I can just do anything with my career, there's a really good chance they're going to name a football stadium after me in Tyler.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
Right? And that's kind of like, the pinnacle of my existence would be. And look, I've already told you what I'm doing if I win the lottery.
Yeah, buying a pyramid. You're going to build a pyramid in Tyler.
No, I'm going to build the Parker Dome first. Chapel Hill's going to have a dome stadium.
I wanted you to build a pyramid.
Well, no, I'm going to build a building that's going to last 2,000 years, like the Roman Colosseum.
All right, here's mine. Notable people from Orland Park, Illinois. Here's what we get credit for.
Why are you doing Orland Park? Why is it so neighborhood specific?
Because that's where I'm from. I'm from Orland Park.
I thought you were from Southside Chicago.
Well, that part-time. I mean, I went to a good suburban high school. My mom got me out of there.
It's convenient. You claim Chicago, but
I claim Chicago because the bulk of my childhood was spent there, and then single mom. I spent just about every weekend with grandma and grandpa in the city. So, but yeah, when it came to education, my mom got me out of that hellhole.
Fishy suburbs, not so edgy and cool like you like to portray, huh? Not so hard scrabble. Mean Street to Orland Park.
I can't disagree with you. I'm with you. All right, so here's who we got. We got Buddy Guy. That's good.
Although that's really good.
He didn't grow up there. He just made his money and then bought a big house there. That's what I'm guessing.
Probably from Mississippi Delta or something.
Justin Hartley. You know who Justin Hartley is? It says actor, Passion, Smallville, and This Is Us.
Oh yeah. No, I think I'm Josh Hartley.
Yeah,
no, I think I'm Josh Hartnett.
This guy's. I think this is the handsome actor kid on This Is Us. You ever seen This Is Us? I don't either. trash in my life. Everybody says they love it, but I don't really.
That makes me not like it, so I'm not watching it.
Yeah. But he's very famous. He's in like one of the hottest shows on TV, and so that's a good one. So Justin Hartley's a good one.
Okay.
All right. Who else do we got here? Tim McCarthy.
McCarthy.
He's a Secret Service agent who got shot by John Hinckley, who went to Highland Park High School. I didn't mention John Hinckley. See, it all comes full circle, folks. I got Tim McCarthy.
No. Didn't John Hinckley end up in? Oh, no. Who's the guy that ended up in Overland Park that was like in the CIA? So they had the missile silos or whatever. You told me about like some super secret.
Oh yeah, Orland Park. Yes, we had Nike missile silos and Nike. You don't need me to go into all the weirdness because my hometown, I've basically connected all the dots, and we are Twin Peaks. We have UFO sightings. We have a national chemical lab. We've got a major defense contracting firm that the entire town is built around. We've got Nike missile bases, and we've got all kinds of weird phenomena. And the guy that they put in charge of everything is a Secret Service agent who got shot defending Reagan. So yeah, there's like all kinds of weird. Yeah. Just connect the dots. There's strange stuff happening in this otherwise sleepy little suburb on the outskirts of Chicago. So that's Tim McCarthy. We got him. Who else do we got? That's it. Bill Rancic, first season winner of The Apprentice. Yeah, we got nothing. And Robin Tunney. I've told you the Robin Tunney stories. Robin Tunney from The Craft. Remember? She's also in Numbers or whatever.
I'm surprised she didn't have a bigger career. Why am I so bad at this?
I think she got married. I'm still friendly on Facebook with her best friend. And I believe I want to say like maybe 5 years ago or something, we were talking about her. And I guess she got married. And it's not that she didn't have a big career. I think she had like a hit TV show for like 10 years. It was just who the hell watches CBS dramas, you know?
Oh, okay. Because she seemed like she kind of had that little it factor where, you know, she's not the prettiest girl out there, but she has the character face and she does the expressions and she does the sad, the mad, the happy. She did everything so well. I thought she'd be like A-list by now.
She was best friends growing up with a girl who, like, now remember, she wasn't famous obviously not famous growing up. She was just a girl, but her best friend was the Soda King of Chicago. Her best friend's family has a very famous last name.
Abe Froman?
No, bigger than Abe Froman. Canfields. I don't know if you've ever heard of Canfield soda or whatever, but yeah, her best friend was a girl named Elizabeth Canfield, and they both they used to run around together, and they were both like hot girls that, like, man, these dudes are hot. Yeah, but don't talk to Liz Canfield. She's too rich. She's like too much of a bitch. All right, that's it. That's my high school. There you go. I got nothing. At my high school in my hometown, we got nothing.
Got nothing. It was pointed out in the chat room that Frank Beard from ZZ Top. Sean pointed that out. Yeah. I had to Google that, but he is from Frankston, which is right outside of Tyler.
He doesn't get credit on Wikipedia for being from Tyler. You got to make amends. You got to allow that guy to claim Tyler if he wants.
It's close enough. Frankston's close enough, but that's easily the biggest then. But when they did the ZZ Top bio on Netflix, the ZZ Top story, they talk about that first album they recorded, and they recorded that in Tyler. And so I thought that was cool because they make a reference to a place called the Country Tavern, which is like legendary where I'm from, but you go 15 miles in either direction and no one's heard of it, you know? So it was a little Tyler reference in the ZZ Top movie. And it's funny how little reference, when you're from nowhere, any reference gets you excited. It's like, oh my God, the outside world actually knows we exist for 5 seconds and they already forgot about it. They already forgot.
You feel a little good about it. Like suddenly this non-cool place that you spent your weird teenage years has a little bit of luster on it because somebody came out of there and started in the craft. You know, that's all you got. That's all you got to hang your head on. Let's see here. Oh, Emily has RuPaul. Oh, no, I'm reading.
No.
Oh, nah, that would have been cool.
A contestant on RuPaul's show.
You could say RuPaul went to my high school. That would be good.
That was pretty cool.
Just a contestant, though. That's not cool. All right. Hey, I got a quick thing I wanted to mention here. This was going around today. This is out of Dallas News. Yeah, okay, but the link is somehow MSN. Oh, I see. It's MSN doing a Dallas news story. So last week we talked about this. We had the big QAnon thing here in town on the night of the Rolling Stones concert. A bunch of QAnon people came because the promise was that JFK Jr. was going to come back and announce that he's vice president and Trump is president and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Guess what, James? Guess what?
What?
They ain't leaving. They ain't leaving. How can these people just come here and then just not leave? What do they got going on in their world?
Wait, they're still there?
QAnon believers who flocked to Dallas to see JFK Jr. reappear are refusing to leave, saying that they want to set up a permanent headquarters in Dallas.
Well, buy a building and set up your headquarters. Go ahead.
A lot of office space downtown. There's a lot of available office space. QAnon supporters gathered in Dallas last Tuesday believing JFK Jr., who died in 1999, fake news, would reappear.
Yeah, who buys that?
The group's leader called Dallas their promised land.
Okay. Well, good. All right. They should get a compound, stock it up with guns. What could possibly go wrong?
I'm all for it. I'm all for these people. They want to stay here. I can keep an eye on them. I'll feel better about it all if I can, A group of QAnon supporters who gathered in Dallas, Texas last week in the hopes of watching John F. Kennedy Jr., who died in 1999, again, fake news, reappear, are refusing to leave the city and considering setting up a permanent base here. Images taken on Saturday, just this past weekend, by the freelance journalist Stephen Monachelli showed dozens of supporters meeting up in Dealey Plaza, the site of the 1963 assassination of President Kennedy, for the second time in 2 weeks. One photo showed the adherents of the online conspiracy theory making the shape of a gigantic Q. All right, so that's a fun story. They ain't going anywhere. We're going to have them here. All of our overpasses are going to be adorned with people hanging over with signs that say stuff like Tom Hanks is a pedophile and all that. That's just going to be a permanent part of the makeup of the fine Metroplex. Looking forward to it, folks. Bring it on.
I don't agree with them. I think they're wrong, but it has been my life experience that people believe in JFK conspiracies have caused me no negative consequences pretty much my entire life. So go just be a weirdo over there.
I'm not going.
Not bothering me.
I'm not going there. I'm not. You and I, look, we agree that they're crackpots. We just have a very different reaction to the existence of these crackpots. So I am not going there.
They're not a threat. Who cares? These people are.
I disagree with you. We are not going there. I disagree with you, except that we do not have to agree. Let's agree to disagree.
Wow.
Okay. I disagree to agree to disagree.
I'm saying live and let live. You're like, no.
I'm saying I am not saying live and let live in this case. No, you're right. I'm saying round them up, brand them, put trackers on them.
Geez, you're proving them correct if you do that.
That's fine by me. Oh, well.
Look, they're over there right now. They're going to round us all up, and then they're going to brand us, and then they're going to put tracking devices on. And you're like, you know what? That's so crazy. You know what we need to do? We need to round them all up, brand them, put tracking devices on them.
That's right, dummies. I'm coming for you. Me, with all of my endless supplies and resources, I'm going to round you all up. That's me. I'm saying it.
Oh, so you don't want them to be rounded up?
I don't want to do it. I mean, I think that maybe we could divert some tax funds. Maybe we could pen them up under what's going on with the Trinity River? That's all dried up. We can just, put some fences around it, herd them all down there, and just let them do their thing. All right, I got a story for you. Okay, I want to get your take on this because this is a story that was trending all weekend long, and I wanted to do it with you because you and I both have sort of this finely tuned bullshit meter when it comes to stories that are out.
Okay.
I will tell you before I tell you this story, I don't believe this story happened, but if it did happen, here's the one caveat to that. I don't believe this story happened because it's too unbelievable. With that said, that may be exactly why it actually happened, because the perpetrator probably went, nobody's going to believe I actually did this, so I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? It might be one of them situations.
Okay.
Dateline, Hermosa Beach, California. This comes just from ESPN, by the way. It's sports oriented. Hermosa Beach, California. A man walking down the street at bar closing time with a $190 cake in his arms claimed that Los Angeles Lakers center Kwame Brown swiped his birthday treat. But authorities said the cake caper will not be prosecuted. In a police report, Alexander Martinez said that he had left his 30th birthday celebration at the Shore Restaurant and Lounge at about 1:45 a.m. Saturday with the uneaten 2 by 2 foot cake. So the gigantic cake that nobody ate. He's walking. He's just walking down the street in the bar district. Bars are closing. People are spilling out onto the street waiting for their valet. It's his birthday. He's walking down the street, 2 by 2 cake. Okay. In a police report, Alexander Martinez said he left his 30th birthday celebration at the Shore Restaurant and Lounge at about 1:45 a.m. Saturday with the uneaten 2 by 2 foot cake and walked north towards the Blue 32 nightclub. Martinez told police he first came upon Lakers forward Ronnie Turiaf. Hey, it's Lakers forward Ronnie Turiaf, who he said agreed to pose for a photograph with him and the chocolate cake. So apparently there's a photo out there. I wouldn't know who Ronnie Turiaf. He's not one of the main Lakers. You know, he's not AD. He's not LeBron. he's cool. Who's this guy? He's not Melo. He's he's just some dude. Oh no, is Melo? Wait. Doesn't matter. I'm not a West guy. I don't pay attention to the West. I am solely focused on the East. Okay, so he's walking. He's taking a picture with a Laker. He sees a Laker. Martinez claimed in the report. Lakers forward Ronnie Turiaf, who he said agreed to pose for a photograph with him and the chocolate cake. But outside of Blue 32, the 6'11", 270-pound Kwame Brown came along, grabbed the cake, and threw it at Martinez, according to the report. Brown then got into a white limousine and left. Now that's baller. It's just, you see this little Mexican guy, Martinez, carrying his cake, wanting pictures with the Lakers. Gigantic Kwame Brown comes out of the bar at closing time, takes the cake, shoves it in the guy's face, and then just hops in a limo and drives away. Brown got into a white limousine and left, Martinez claimed in the report, although he didn't suggest any reason for the cake toss. I didn't do nothing. Mm-hmm. Martinez reported that he then walked up to Lamar Odom, who is, always the guy to go to when there's some sort of trouble.
The voice of reason, right?
Right, yeah. Lamar Odom.
What's Lamar Odom even doing there? He doesn't play anymore, does he?
No, but he's, still hangs with the boys, I'm sure. Martinez reported that he then walked up to Lamar Odom as the Lakers forward left. Oh, I guess maybe he is former forward. I don't know. I can't imagine he's still playing. I thought he could barely walk and talk, right? I mean, I thought he was like, all brain damaged and stuff from that time.
Yeah, he like cracked out. No, he's a former basketball player as a member of Los Angeles Lakers.
Hey, you know about that, right? You know that it was Dick Hunter who found Lamar Odom, right?
Yeah, I had him on my show to talk about it.
How great is that?
It's like, finally, I know somebody who's next to one of these great stories. Yeah, and dude, Dick Hunter's best interview ever.
Oh, he knows how to do it. But he's also like the closest thing that I think that we will ever encounter to a real live Forrest Gump. He is always around history when it happens. You know what I mean? He's always there.
Right.
So yeah, Dick Hunter found Lamar Odom when he OD'd in the brothel. It was Dick who walked into the room and found him. So crazy. Martinez reported that he then walked up to Lamar Odom as the Lakers forward left Pidone's Pizza and confronted him about the cake, which was splattered on his birthdays all over his birthday clothes. All right. So this is another place. So there's two Lakers coming out of Blue 32. One guy poses for a picture with him. The other guy, Kwame Brown, smashes the cake all over him and then jumps in a limo and speeds away. And then what? You just stumble across another Laker? What coming out of a pizza joint? What, is the streets of LA just lousy with Lakers at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, there's only like 15 of them. Damn.
Right. All right. Martinez reported that he then walked up to Lamar Odom. We covered that, who was walking out of Pidone's Pizza and confronted him about the cake, which was splattered on his birthday clothes. A man believed to be Odom's bodyguard. There's a good chance it's Richard Hunter. Really,
right.
It's a good chance it's Dick Hunter. A man believed to be Odom's bodyguard pushed Martinez into the street, yelling at him to get away from Odom. Dude's having a bad 15 minutes. On his birthday, no less.
Worst birthday ever.
And he was just really looking forward to eating that 2 by 2 foot cake for the next 2 weeks.
Well,
He's like, I'll have this in my fridge. I'm going to be eating it.
Right, there's the new Clippers fan out there.
A man believed to be Odom's bodyguard pushed Martinez into the street, yelling at him to get away from Odom. Calm down. He didn't do anything. Odom told the man to believe to be his bodyguard. So look at that, Lamar Odom actually sticking up for the guy. Yeah, look at that. You get found half dead in a brothel.
Bro, the movie on
You
the
into your
guy.
humanity, apparently.
If this makes the movie on Lamar Odom, that'd be surprising because I'm going through his little bio on Wikipedia, and it is bizarre. He left the NBA. He was trying to enter the Chinese Basketball Association. He got kicked out for not being fit enough, so he joined. There's a Filipino basketball association that he joined, a team called Mighty Sports. So he was playing in the Philippine Basketball League for a while there. And then he was in the 3-on-3 basketball league that Ice Cube founded.
Yeah. The old man's league, the senior tour. Hey man, those guys can go over there and make a lot of money playing in Europe and playing in sketchy little countries, especially if you played in the NBA. They'll pay you a whole bunch of money just to be a loser NBA player playing over there. Because that means
I always thought that would be the great advantage of having a legit minor league for football and basketball is that's kind of what happens in baseball. The guys stretch out their careers, and even though they can't throw 99 miles an hour like they used to, they can still throw 91 and get a little more, income out of their name and interest. It would really help the sports to, these brands can stay around longer.
I hate to break it to you, but baseball's had that covered for about 100 years. There are millions of minor league baseball groups where seniors go and play.
As it should be. Yeah, because there's not like the little government forced monopoly on the minor leagues like you have in football and basketball. The NCAA doesn't dominate the minor league.
So Odom yells at, the guys who come out of college who aren't ready for the NBA, they now have the D League, which is new within the last 10 years. The D League is a very real thing. It's sort of like a bridge league between college and the pros. And there are a lot of very good pro basketball players who had to spend a couple of years in the D League. I mean, it's turned out to be a D for. Actually, I think they changed the name. I don't think it's
developmental league.
Yeah, I don't think it's called the D League anymore. I think they changed the name for some reason. But at any rate, yeah, that's a recently new thing that's come about with NBA players. Because a lot of times, guys were jumping straight to the NBA from high school, right? Like you'd be 18 years old. They didn't, and then what if you didn't want to go to college? Now you got to be. They send you, you're just not quite ready for the NBA. So a team will draft you and they'll put you in their D League. They just make you stay there. All right, so Lamar Odom tells the bodyguard to calm down. He didn't do nothing. And then everybody went their separate ways, and Martinez filed a police report. Detectives presented a possible grand theft of a person case to the city attorney's office, which decided not to prosecute. Kwame Brown wasn't talking, but Lakers spokesman John Black said the team was aware of the alleged incident and that had been told prosecutors were not filing charges. Black had no other comment. The Lakers are on a 3-game road trip, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I don't believe that story ever happened. I don't believe that. And if it did happen, it's not a crime. I'm sorry, it's not a crime. Some weird dude.
You're a celebrity. Much a guy's birthday cake. That there's construction of property. It's very petty.
Who's to say he did it on purpose? He's a giant 6'11" guy, and this dude, everybody's drunk. He could have bounced. He's carrying how cumbersome it would be at closing time of a bar when everybody's pouring out of the front and trying to get to the valet. People are everywhere, and you got some rube standing there with a 2x2 foot cake. That cake's gonna get bumped into. Something bad's gonna happen with that cake.
Oh, I agree to that. And if it is an accident, then of course not. But if he did mush the cake on purpose, then yes.
It's kind of funny though.
It is kind of funny. Some of these cakes though get ridiculous. I don't know if the Food Network is responsible for this, but if you want to go get like a fancy foo cake for your daughter's birthday, it can run you $100, and that makes me want to just burn the building down wherever I'm standing. Just burn it down.
There's those stupid cake shows that I've never watched, but there's like the British baking and Cake Off and Cake Boss. And let me ask you a question. We used to like to start each and every show with a question. It's going to tell me everything that I need to know about you.
Okay.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Wow. Wrong answer.
Well, I really like pie, but
that's the wrong answer.
One or the other, I'm going cake.
There are just far too many varieties. You could do a cake pie. You could have like, although I do consider cheesecake to actually be pie. I don't consider cheesecake to be cake.
It's a pie. It has the crust.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's sort of the defining characteristic.
it's just called cake. That's how I would argue it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So here's
Even
another
if it's a chicken pot pie, it's the defining detail is the crust.
here's another question for you.
Yep.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, but it's in the same genre.
You
It's
redeemed yourself. Yeah, you redeemed it. It is definitely is no more a sandwich than a taco is a sandwich. If you're gonna call a hot dog a sandwich, then you gotta call a taco a sandwich, and you can't do that. They are unique individuals and they have their own personalities.
Did we do all this also because I have a beef with the Italians and their food is garbage? Because look, you have spaghetti, you have linguine, you have fettuccine, you have angel hair. That's one thing. That's not four things. That's like a slightly flatter spaghetti is this whole nother thing. No, that's like a flattened spaghetti is what it is. It's not a whole thing. And I know I sound like a rube because the heavier sauces needed like a fatter noodle to pick it up. And the thinner sauces deserve like no, that doesn't make a big enough difference. It's not a whole nother thing.
You sound like a rube because I would venture to guess you have never had good Italian food. I imagine that the best Italian restaurant in your town was Olive Garden, which is absolute garbage, which is trash.
Never had good Italian food. I've been around for 44 years and I've just abstained from any authentic Italian food my entire life.
Where have you
What a
what restaurant have
horrible
you been to?
assumption you've made of me.
No. Why you grew up in Tyler? There's not a lot of good Italian. Look, dude. There are zero. Take it from me. Zero good Italian restaurants in Dallas. Zero. Campisi's is gross. Campisi's is like not Italian food at all. Yet for some reason, people around here seem to think it's the high end of Italian food. I used to have to go to Maggiano's just to get something that was even close to being what I would consider real Italian food. You want Italian food, you go to San Francisco, you go to New York, you go to Boston, you go to Chicago, you go to Detroit, you go to Cleveland. That's where you get real Italian. Honestly, now, I'm not going to fuck with you. You got the best barbecue in the world. You got the best tacos in the world. Those are the things you got. What y'all don't have is Italian food. There is no and Chinese food. Oh my God, you guys don't know what Chinese food is here either. You need a Chinatown. You need 15 square blocks of city dedicated to nothing but dead animals hanging in storefront windows. That's when you know you got good Chinese food.
Go eat some crickets then. Look, I know. I love this. You haven't had the right spaghetti. That's what
it's not that you haven't had the right spaghetti. You just haven't had real Italian food. You've probably Sparrow in the mall. You probably thought that was Italian food. That's not. Olive Garden is not Italian food.
Well, no,
Italian food for people in Indiana, but it ain't Italian food for people in cities with actual Italian neighborhoods where they make real food.
See, but you're pretending to talk about the food, but you're really talking about yourself because you have now put yourself on this Italian food pedestal where you have this refined palate that knows the difference.
No, it's refined simply by geography. And now, if I'm putting myself on the pedestal, I also took myself down a few knots and giving you barbecue. We don't know shit about barbecue. We don't know shit about tacos. You have look, the regions of this country are good at certain things. I could not sit here and talk about, dude, I would tell you that the best pork sandwich I ever had, the best barbecue I ever had was McDonald's McRib. I love that. That's delicious. And people in Texas would have my head for saying stupid shit like that. So, it's just all about what your frame of reference is. My frame of reference is that we used to hang out in Little Italy. I mean, I've had a lot of really good Italian food. And I've also lived here for a number of years, and I've been searching for passable pizza, and it's terrible in this town. And don't even try and get a good lasagna in this town or any kind of a Parmesan sandwich in this town. You can't do it. They don't do it right. They do it weird, just like we do barbecue weird. Our barbecue is garbage up there. I moved down here. I had real barbecue for the first time in my life, and I hated my hometown for not being able to do barbecue. It's not one's better than the other. It's different regions of the country expose you to different cuisines, and you become a bit more educated on those cuisines. You sound like a rube with your spaghetti sauce.
See what you're doing here is you're putting yourself in the refined, educated, cosmopolitan
in the category of Italian food. Yes, because we've got a lot of immigrants. You don't even have mafia in this town. You can't have good Italian restaurants if the mafia doesn't run your town.
You never heard of Jack Ruby? Come on. But listen.
From Chicago.
You really think. Yeah, right.
He is.
Point taken, right? You can't say that you live in a metropolitan area of 6 million people and none of them are an Italian restaurateur family that came over here to try their wares and have authentic Italian food. That's just not demographically
No,
possible.
I will agree with you. You are absolutely right. But here's the difference. In places where there are heavily ethnic Italian neighborhoods, you will find that in every strip mall. Here, I've been here well over a decade and never had a decent spaghetti. Never. So you're
See,
right.
you never see that sound. You
No.
sound like Mitchell. I've never had a decent spaghetti. Oh, I
No.
bet you all the spaghetti you've had was at least decent. You just hadn't had the bestest of the best and the food
I haven't had
Italian dream of your childhood.
Aside from the turkey tetrazzini that is my go-to at Maggiano's, I have not had an Italian meal in this town that was anything much better than Chef Boyardee.
All right. Look, I'm not pushing back to be a jerk,
There
but
you
I am pushing back from the wealth of experience in my life where people have dragged me, especially in New Orleans. There's a lot of Italians here, and they're like, what do you mean you've never been to Andreas? Well, you've never had real Italian. You're from Texas. Y'all don't have real Italian. I've eaten it and it's crap. Y'all probably think Olive Garden's real Italian food. Everyone pulls out the damn Olive Garden line.
It's
You
true.
snobs.
It's the
Like,
national brand. It's
Olive Garden is fantastic, and I love it. And
No, it's not.
It's not trash. It's not like
It is.
indecent to eat food.
It's like
Jesus Christ,
TV
people are
dinners, man.
snobs.
It's
No,
TV
you
dinner
are
quality.
putting yourselves on like here's all of America, like the regular people and the stuff they like, the Applebee's and Olive Garden, Chili's. I'm above that.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
above. All these other people are beneath me. What kind of snot you sound like?
When it comes to Italian food, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
That's where we are.
so I've been taken to Andrea's, I've been taken to Fausto's. There's a place on magazine called Red Gravy. I've been taken to Commander's Palace and all this other crap. And
you see no difference between that and the Olive Garden.
And look, it's a little bit different, but I can't go back and like, well, I can't eat Olive Garden after eating that. That's not even decent spaghetti. Oh, stop it! Olive Garden isn't. It's indecent. It's not even fit for consumption.
I will give you
silly
this.
talk.
You've probably had good Italian restaurants in New Orleans. I'll give you that. That's I hadn't really considered that. I was, just placing you in from your Dallas days.
When I go up to New York, my coworkers do that to me too. I'm gonna take you some real Italian, and it's good, but it's not mind blowing, and it's not that different. It's not like, well, these noodles taste totally different. No, they're kind of the same.
No, they taste different. If I ever need a recipe for how to cook a raccoon, I'm coming to you because there I will put you above me. Any kind of roadkill jumbo or whatever, gumbo, whatever the hell it is you people make, I will come to you. But I am certainly not going to take your hot takes on Italian food. Now, what were you saying about spaghetti?
It's not that different. Look, I can even. There was, oh man, see, this happens to me every time. Every time someone takes me to these places, I'm underwhelmed. They oversell it, and I keep hearing how I haven't had real Italian food, and this is real Italian food, and it's not that different. It's not. It's like, what is this? A little more garlicky?
Yes. The flavors, the sauces, they're different in every place, and they're all better than anything that the Olive Garden produces, without a doubt.
It's Olive Garden, but a little more garlicky. That doesn't
Every
make
good
Olive
restaurant
Garden
has their own recipe.
No, look, and part of this is the behavior pattern. People like to put themselves above all the like, hey, I'm better than most of people. Why? You can tell by my debonair, delicate palate when it comes to fine Italian food.
Yes. Specific life experiences do give certain people a level of expertise that people who do not share those life experiences do not have.
This is the culinary version of the crap I did to my poor wife when I took the cheap wine and put it into big bottles.
No, it's not.
That same food from Olive Garden, and I served it to you at Villa Moscone in downtown Manhattan. You'd be like, "This is what I'm talking about." This is like.
You go to Olive Garden. I will put you a piece of Olive Garden lasagna in front of you, and then I'll get you some Rubino's lasagna, and I'll put that in front of you. And they don't even look the same. They don't even look like they're from the same food genre.
I'm the kind of sicko that's going to remember this and pull this BS on you one day.
All right. Well, look, and if it's something that's true, you like I do not know barbecue. I'm learning barbecue. I'm absolutely.
Stop. This is the pretend like you're self-deprecating, like you're not putting yourself on.
How are you pretending to be self-deprecating when I am telling you that you have better barbecue? It is not pretend self-deprecation.
You're not saying my palate isn't delicate when it comes to barbecue. You're saying the barbecue up there is inferior. You're not saying anything bad about yourself. You are
Yes, we
putting
don't do.
yourself on this pedestal and saying there's these
We
other people that don't know how to do barbecue, but you're still on the pedestal.
we don't know how to do hillbilly food as good as the trash down here does. That's all I'm saying. Now, I don't know why you would take offense at that. I'm simply trying to put it out there.
All right, can we go to bed now?
I love barbecue. What time is it? No, we got 7 minutes. We don't know. We don't know.
Play John Hinckley twice.
I did an hour and a half of just straight stream of consciousness ranting this afternoon, and I looked up and I wanted to quit at like 1:40, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to talk about fried chicken for 15 minutes, and I did it. So you and I can do the same.
I did 3 hours. I did 3 hours by myself today.
Yeah, but you're a much better talent when it comes. Oh, there's this fake deprecation.
That was actually nice. That was actually, I agree with that one. That was a nice. That was a nice.
I mean it. You're much better at You're much better at just being alone and not needing to communicate and connect with other human beings than I am.
Nope.
Because you're broken and a dark heart. You've got no time. All right. Hey, Joe Exotic has cancer. Do you know about this?
Dang, and he's still in prison, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still.
Is he in prison, like falsely in prison right now?
Did you see Tiger King?
I didn't finish it. I saw like the first 4 episodes, and I'm like, yeah, gay Tiger's got it.
He was convicted for conspiracy to try and kill the crazy lady.
Did he try? Do you think that's true though? Do you think he tried to kill her?
We watched like 4 episodes of him conspiring with other people. I mean, so yeah. See, that's why he's in prison.
He just did that for the show. She killed her husband. Why is she out?
He got convicted. Well, we don't know. Oh, however, Tiger King 2, which is coming out next week, maybe next week, or I think it's coming out just before Thanksgiving. Tiger King 2 deals with all of that. Deals with what happened to her husband. So yeah, if you say was he wrongly convicted, I'm like, I don't know. I watched 4 episodes where he seemed like he wanted to kill her. So he didn't get arrested until after it had aired on Netflix. So it's the dumbass gangbanger equivalent of when they record themselves for Instagram while they're carjacking someone, and then they can't figure out how they got caught.
Dang, these police are good.
Tiger King star announces aggressive cancer diagnosis. Very sad. Joe Exotic, we hardly knew you. Cancer doesn't care who you are. What kind of a way is that to start this out? Like Joe Exotic is like some pinnacle of humanity. Like cancer is because cancer can't take Jesus or Joe Exotic.
Well, we know meth doesn't fight it off.
Right? Yeah. Cancer doesn't care who you are, can strike anyone, even celebrities. Look at some of the stars taking a diagnosis with cancer over the years, beginning with this reality TV star, Tiger King star Joe Exotic, whose real name is Joseph Maldonado. Shared a note on Instagram on November 4th, 2021, revealing that he's battling aggressive prostate cancer. Everyone, it is with a sad face that I have to tell you the doctors called me in today to break the news of my prostate biopsy came back with an aggressive cancer. I'm still waiting on the results from other tests as well. Boy. Yeah. So he's currently serving prison time for his role in a murder for hire plot against Big Cat Rescue founder Carol Baskin. Prostate cancer, dude. That ain't a fun one. That comes for.
Well, the aggressive is the concerning part. Prostate cancer is actually one of the more common forms of cancer in men.
Very common.
It's one of the least deadly. My grandfather had it. They just went down there and they took a machete and they pulled it out and just whacked it off. Chucked it in the trash can, and it didn't bother him again. He died of other things.
Well, yeah, it doesn't kill you, but it severely alters your life. I mean, there are things that you don't just bounce back and you're normal. You have bags attached to you, and you have all kinds.
What?
Yeah, dude.
I just chopped off your prostate and everything went back to normal.
No. Well, maybe that's in lesser cases, but you can. So I've got a very close friend who I care very much about who's been battling that for a bunch of years. He seems to be clean and clear right now, but yeah, he's got to poop in a bag or something. I mean, that's not
the norm. My grandfather didn't have to do that.
I
can't even figure out how my vasectomy works.
I don't know that that's the norm. I'm just telling you that yes, you can survive it, but it
that might be the aggressive kind, right?
Definitely alter your lifestyle.
But do you realize when I had the vasectomy, they cut the vas deferens that go from testes to the urethra,
Mhm.
and then they put these titanium clamps on there, right? And I still haven't figured out if I'm still producing it, where does it go? Nowhere. It
I
just
don't know.
never goes. It just
Before you let them down there to snip your ball sack, did you do your own research? I mean, did you or did you, you know what I mean? Like, did you look into it? Did you do a whole bunch of like, did you learn what they were, or did you just trust the doctor?
no, I did not just trust the doctor, but I
Okay.
had sort of this reverse benevolent racism thing where my doctor was Asian, so it kind of puts you at ease. Like when he walks in, you're like, oh, good.
Small hands. That would make me feel better too.
Well,
I don't want big meaty man hands, down there. I want little tiny hands, little tiny precision hands.
Well, look, you know who you were cheating off of in college labs, and so when he shows up, you think everything's going to be okay, but they give you like some weird pills, like to calm you down. I forgot, like a Klonopin or something. And they tell you not to drink alcohol with it. So first thing I did was drink alcohol. So I was a little woozy when I went, because I wanted him to knock me out. I didn't want it, but I was conscious for it, right? And so you kind of remember things, but as you were on pills, so it was weird because they have to shave you. Did you ever do this, Pugs? Did you ever go through that?
Hell no.
Oh God, strangers have to shave you down. They tell you shave before you show up, then they're gonna reshave you anyway.
We'd never do that. It's a crime against God.
And then they hang them in front of like this piece of plywood.
Uh,
And the Asian doctor is on the other side of the room. You don't see this coming, Pugs, but he has these Chinese stars, and he just and it sticks on the plywood right through your sack.
nobody wants to hear this story.
That's ever just like that.
Nobody wants to hear that story. That sounds horrible. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for tonight's Pillow Talk edition. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us and hanging out. We do this every night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. James Aloysius Parker is always kind enough to join us live from New Orleans. James, have a good one, my friend. Wave bye. There you go. Oh, look at that. I love it. I love the fun we can have. There he goes. Look at him. Throw that hammer at the big screen. Oh, look, he's toggling between. All right, we'll be back tomorrow at noon for the high noon edition of the show. Hope you can join us. Promise that one will be a little bit. See what I mean when I say the noon show is topic driven, talk about things. Whereas here on the Pillow Talk show, we just do stupid stuff. Today was very stupid. Keep a good thought for Sunglasses. He's sick. Maybe he'll be with me tomorrow at noon. Or maybe you'll just get another 2-hour stream of consciousness rant where I just blah, blah, blah. Either way, I'm fine with it. We want Sunglasses to get better. And we want you to be better. Oh, bye, James. All right, see you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been a production of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is your pal, Pugs, signing out. Bye-bye. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you.